Hi, this is Drew with RWS. I'm going to be giving a short introduction to the RWS IDX plugin. The RWS IDX plugin is a simple to use yet powerful IDX plugin for WordPress. The plugin enables the display of listings from MLS within WordPress pages, posts, and widgets. In addition, visitors can perform advanced property searches based on detailed search criteria. Our IDX solution uses no iframes or outside links. All listings are displayed within WordPress, which greatly benefits you with search engines like Google and Bing. I'm going to be demonstrating an install of the RWS IDX plugin. Here I have a clean install of WordPress, and we start by logging into the WordPress backend interface, going to Plugins, Add New, and Upload Plugin. Currently, the plugin is not available through the WordPress plugin directory. It's only available through purchase from our website. After you download the plugin from our website, you can install it into your WordPress website. After you choose the file, click Install Now. We've uploaded the plugin. Now we're going to activate the plugin. Now that the plugin's activated, we're going to go to the plugin settings page. On the plugin settings page, you'll see the RWS API status. It says please enter API credentials. You will enter the credentials provided to you in your email, then hit the save. After you save it, you should see active under RWS API status. That means the plugin has been installed correctly and it is communicating with the RWS API server. Next, we'll take a look at the WordPress setup. It's necessary to create 5 pages within WordPress to fully integrate the plugin. The pages will require a plugin-specific shortcode in order to render the RWS API data within WordPress. So we'll go to Pages, Add New. The first page will be our listing page, so I'll just call it Listing. You can title it whatever you'd like to title it as long as you insert the shortcode. Shortcode is bracket query underscore listing bracket. After you've entered the shortcode, hit the publish button. Next, we're going to add the search page. This is the default search page. Again, we're going to enter the shortcode. Now, there is a way to easily enter shortcodes using the IDX button above the page editor. By clicking on it, it automatically enters that shortcode. I'm going to hit publish. Now I'm going to enter the sign up page. Hit publish. Create a new page. I'm going to create the login page. Hit publish. And finally, I'm going to create the last page, the dashboard page. Hit publish. Now I've created all the pages necessary for the plugin to work. The next step is enable post name permalinks. After creating the new pages, it is necessary to enable permalinks in the WordPress settings. Select post name, hit save changes. It is recommended to review and save the plugin settings after the initial installation. We access the settings by going to RWS IDX, then Settings, or from the top tab, IDX, and then Settings. From the first tab, called Main, we'll see the agent ID, the RWS API key, and the RWS API server. It is necessary to enter this information in correctly in order for the plugin to communicate with the RWS API server. If it is properly configured, you will see active under RWS API status. The next step is to make sure that the 5 pages that you created within WordPress correspond to the slugs that are entered within the settings. So if I return back to the pages here that we created and I go to quick edit, you'll see slug and it says listing. That should be entered for the listing page within the RWS IDX settings. Under search, we have the word search. So returning back to the settings, the search page slug should be changed to search. Under enable lead capture, you have the ability to disable or enable the lead capture functionality. If you disable the lead capture functionality, it will hide the contact form that is displayed on individual listings. So if you go to a listing on the website, that's the member registration prompt, and I click on request information, essentially it just scrolls down to the bottom of the page where we have request information on this property and we have a contact form. By disabling enable lead capture, it will not display this contact form on individual listings, which means you could use whatever contact form you'd like to use. Alternate lead capture link. Here you can input, for example, your contact page, or if you're using another plugin, or if you have your own CRM where you would like to direct your leads to, you can input that under alternate lead capture link, and essentially it's a URL we're looking for. MLS disclaimer is the disclaimer that would appear at the bottom of your listing pages. So you can edit that disclaimer as you see fit. Input it here. The company name, this will also appear on the disclaimer. The MLS which you belong to. Listings per page. This is the default number of listings that'll show up per page. Sort listings. By default, we sort listings with the newest listings on top, but you could sort by price or year. Default sort order, which means do you want to sort descending or ascending? Filter rentals means that any property designated as a rental property within the MLS as the property class or property type will be filtered from the search results. Success message. This is the message that will appear after an individual submits the contact form. Next tab is registration. On the registration, you have the ability to enable or disable the user registration prompt. The user registration prompt appears when a visitor goes to a listing detail page and they're prompted to register on the website. By checking no, this prompt will not appear. Now this prompt can be disabled from the settings, but can also be closed by the visitor by checking the X box. There's the ability to display custom fields on the sign-up page. So by enabling that feature, you can collect additional information on the registration page. So by default, the first name, last name, and email will always display. By enabling the custom fields on sign-up page, the phone number box will appear here. You can include additional fields, custom fields, within the member registration prompt by customizing the code within your theme, and I'll get into that in a later tutorial. If you would like your visitors to be redirected to the dashboard after they register, click yes. Otherwise, by clicking no after an individual registers, they'll just be returned to the previous page they were looking at before they got the registration prompt. If you would like the registration prompt to not appear, for example, on the first listing, So the first listing I view, I immediately will get a registration prompt. You can have it appear, for example, by selecting 3. That means on the 4th listing, they'll get a registration prompt. The next option here is reset listings after prompt. By enabling this, every 4th listing they view, so on the 4th listing, the 8th listing, and so on, they'll get the registration prompt. Again, the registration prompt can be closed by the visitor by clicking on the X. Under the map, we have a few options here. For example, you have the ability to display or not display a search map on the search results page. For example, on the search results page, we see a map of all the listings within this development. By selecting no, this map will not display. Now the visitor can also disable this map by clicking hide map, and it's no longer visible. They will continue not to see it until they re-click the button view map, and it'll display it again. We have the ability to turn off the map on the listing detail page. By clicking no, it'll hide the listing map on the listing detail page. We can disable the Google Maps API script. Occasionally that script is being called within another plugin or within the theme, so there might be a scenario where you would want to disable the Google Maps API script, and you can do that here. You have the ability to enable or disable the price displaying with the map marker. Here we have the price displaying, and by clicking no, you could disable that price to display. You can enable or disable the full screen map option. The full screen map option is really nice on touch devices like the iPad or tablets or the phone. That appears here as a link. By clicking on that, I can go into full screen option. And now I can navigate around the map very easily, zoom up on individual listings. And when I click on listings, I get an info bubble here with details about that listing. I can exit this by either clicking on the exit button or escape button, or this button here at the top of the page, and I'll go back to the minimize view of the map. We can choose which map view we want. We can either do road map or satellite. Currently this is displaying in satellite mode. I can switch to road map mode from the front end. The visitor can do that, but you could set the default with what you would like for the website within the settings. We can enable the initial zoom level for the map. So for example, currently the zoom level is set here. We could zoom out or zoom in. You can set that zoom level within the settings for the plugin for the initial when they first land on the map page. The map width and map height can be set. If you have custom map icons, we currently have map icons here for individual property types. So vacant land displays it as a green icon, a blue icon for condos, and a red icon for single family. Now you can enable custom map icons by putting it into a specific directory within your theme, and you just indicate that directory in this field here. You have the ability to put in custom listing map info. So for example, on these info bubbles that appear for the individual map markers, we can change the information that appears on that info bubble by using these template tag options. So for example, if you wanted MLS area to appear, you just go ahead and insert that here. Next we have tracking tab. The tracking is custom API server that enables a feature where you can view visitors' activity on your website. For example, you can view searches that they're performing, individual listings that they're viewing, how long they're spending on the website. All that information is viewable. That's an additional add-on you would have to purchase from RWS. After you purchase that add-on, we'll provide you with the API tracking information, and you can view in real time the performance of the website. It's very helpful, especially for contacting leads. Gives you some insight into the activity of the visitors and leads that you receive. cache, we recommend enabling cache mode and then setting the cache time to daily. We also recommend enabling cache for images and disabling resource caching. This will all help with the performance of the website. Under security, you have the ability to enable or disable the spam protection for the contact form, the registration form, and the modal registration form. Under the advanced tab, we have some additional options that can help with customizing the website for specific themes, or if you have conflicts with a theme or a plugin. Another option under advanced that could be beneficial would be the ability to set the titles for your individual listings. So for example, if you wanted street address to show up, you can enter the template tags for street address. So instead of title here, you might want to enter the street number, street name, the city, and the state. This could help you benefit you with search engines. It'll perform a URL rewrite for the individual listing pages. This is an example. So within the URL for that listing detail page, we have the MLS number, and then we have the basic address of that property. And this is something very similar to what you would see with a Zillow or a Trulia or a Realtor.com. So this will help your website compete with those big real estate websites in the search engines. Finally, we have a tab for compatibility. The compatibility tab will help in troubleshooting. If you have any conflicts or issues with the plugin, you would want to make sure that everything is correctly installed and configured properly. After you've finished making all your changes, hit the save. After you save it, all your settings should be saved. This concludes the initial installation and configuration of the RWS IDX plugin for WordPress. In subsequent videos, I'll be providing instructions on how to further utilize the features and functionality of the IDX plugin. Feel free to send me any feedback or questions you may have.